Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Picks on Net, NHL Picks and Predictions. I'm your host, Terry Edelman at TE Picks on Twitter, ready to break down the Saturday slate. We've got a bunch of good games to go over today. And if you like plus money player props, you are in the right spot. I've got a plus 550, a plus 290, plus 440. And some other ones, of course, that we'll be going through here during today's slate. Lots of value on today's slate. First, we'll take a look back at yesterday, even though I would rather not, of course. Freaky Friday in all effect, and just an awful day from start to finish. 0-6 day yesterday. Unfortunately, Seth Jarvis did not score. The Dallas Stars did not win against the Winnipeg Jets. They played a pretty awful game. They outshot Winnipeg, but the Jets were the far better team. Wyatt Johnston did not score. Thomas Harley did not get a point. And then in the final game, McTavish didn't get a point, and Cutter Gauthier didn't get a point. So overall, a bad 0-6 Friday, but can't sit around and cry about it. We got to move on to the next day, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're moving on to today's slate. Take a look at the standings. Then we will get into the chat here quickly, and then we will move on along. Florida in first with 85 points. Toronto in second with 81. The Tampa Bay Lightning with 79. Washington Capitals in first with 94. Carolina in second with 84. And New Jersey with 78 points. I just realized I'm a little bit. There we go. In the top wildcard spots, Ottawa with 75, Columbus with 70, tied with the New York Rangers, also with 70. Montreal with 69, Detroit with 68, Boston with 68, Islanders with 66, Philly and Pittsburgh both with 64, and the Buffalo Sabres with 56 in last place. In the Central, Winnipeg in first with 96, Dallas in second with 86, and Colorado in third with 83. In the Pacific, Vegas in first with 85, Edmonton in second with 80, and the LA Kings in third with 79 points. In the top wildcard spot, the Minnesota Wild with 79, Calgary and Vancouver tied for the second wildcard spot, 8 points behind the Wild with 71. St. Louis and Utah both with 69, trying to get into a playoff spot. Anaheim with 65, Seattle with 62, and then the bottom three of the Western Conference. If you guys are new, make sure to hit the like button, or if you like the show, and if you're new, hit the subscribe button. I always get those two mixed up. I appreciate all the support. Thanks, everyone. Jump into the chat, and then we'll see what people are thinking here. TikTok, come on, Boog, relax. It's a Saturday. And I was 29 seconds late. So there you go. A tardy hat trick. There you go. Hi, Terry. I'm going to the Blue Jackets game tonight. Have fun, Timothy. That should be a great game. Obviously, two teams really fighting for the playoffs, playoff spot. That should be a great game. Yo, Terry. Hey, Robert. How's it going? Canes are playing good hockey right now. Yeah, they are. Fortunately, Seth Jarvis couldn't score yesterday, but yeah, I wasn't going against the Canes yesterday. And I don't intend to in the near future. But we're going to jump into today's slate, and we're going to start with the early game, and oh boy, is it a good one. Is it a good game that we're going to start off with today? The Vegas Golden Knights and the Buffalo Sabres, and by good, I mean I like a lot of plays in this game. One team here is a great team, top of the Pacific Division, and the other team is unfortunately at the bottom of the Eastern Conference and holds the longest NHL playoff drought, obviously in the league, the Buffalo Sabres. Vegas minus 220 and Buffalo plus 180. Total 6.5 here in this game. To start off, I don't believe we have any goaltenders confirmed. Let me refresh. No. Aiden Hill, unconfirmed. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, unconfirmed. You would assume it would be Aiden Hill after signing his 6-year extension and I believe it was 6 point something million. I was surprised that he got that long and that much of a cap hit. Cap hit kind of makes sense, but the 6 years is a long time for Adin Hill. So he's going to look to have a good game here after signing his contract. How I look at this game, and as soon as I noticed this game was on the slate, right away I thought about Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel, of course, as you can see on the screen here, is playing very well heading into this game. He's also facing his former team, the team that refused to let him get the back surgery that he really wanted. It did not end very nicely in Buffalo with Jack Eichel. Obviously, goes to Vegas, gets his back surgery, and has been fantastic ever since. There was no drop-off. There was no long-term injury like the Sabres were worried about. Jack Eichel got the surgery he wanted on his own body and has produced very well. It so happens that Jack Eichel still kind of holds a little bit of a grudge. His last 3 games against the Buffalo Sabres, he has a goal in all 3 and at least 7 shots on goal. 7, 8, and 7 shots on goal in his last 3 games against the Sabres. Jack Eichel still doesn't like the Sabres. Basically, that's what that's saying. Vegas won 3-1 earlier in the year. Eichel scored. He had 7 shots. He'll look to have a good game here tonight. This afternoon. Give me Jack Eichel anytime goal. Now, I know he's assisting a lot recently. He's not really scoring a lot recently. But if he's going to shoot the puck 7 times at Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, now, of course, he may not get 7 shots today, but he's done it in the last 3 games against Buffalo. If he is going to shoot the puck a lot like that, I want his anytime goal, which I got at DraftKings for plus 155 for half unit. And then as well, half unit on Jack Eichel, over half a power play point, plus 160. We just cashed against, I think it was Columbus there in the last game. Buffalo doesn't have a good penalty kill either. 23rd ranked penalty kill. Buffalo's allowed a power play goal in 3 of their last 4 games. We saw what Eichel did on the power play in his last game. And obviously, with his history against Buffalo, give me Jack Eichel anytime goal and Jack Eichel over half a power play point. Now, I can't pass up Brandon Saad there on the second line with Hertl and Dorofeyev. Those 3, as you can see, they all have points in 4 or 5. They're all playing very well for Vegas. Saad also has good history against the Buffalo Sabres. So give me Brandon Saad over half a point, which I got for plus 138. Great value there with what he's done recently for the Vegas Golden Knights. And, of course, yes, I'm taking Tage Thompson, anytime goal for the Buffalo Sabres. He scored in 5 of his last 6 games. He's got the hot stick right now. We cashed on him in the last game. We'll go back to him. Plus 170 here for Tage Thompson, anytime goal. Hopefully we start off the day with some nice winners. That is the plan. What's a Gordie Howe hat trick? Gordie Howe hat trick is when a player gets a fight, a goal, and an assist all in one game. So a fight, a goal, and an assist is a Gordie Howe hat trick. Jack Eichel, anytime goal, plus 140. I'm right there with you, Robert. Right there with you. Of course, you like when you have a player that's coming in hot, like Jack Eichel is, but you also like when there is that added personal motivation factor, which is the case for another game that we'll be talking about later on in the slate as well. Mark Stone assist plus 100. Not a bad look. Of course, I didn't want to overload too much, so he did not make it on my card. It's not long if you consider what Vegas has in the pipeline for goalies. That's true, I guess. That's true. Dorofeyev plus 180 and Zach Benson plus 325. Eichel over 3.5 shots and goals plus 141. Of course, you guys know that I don't bet shots and goal props because they don't go well. But if I was going to bet one, it would be Eichel, of course, with what he's done recently. So I want to talk anyone off looking at Eichel's shots. Sup, go Sabres. Hey, Olaf, how's it going? Unfortunately, a rough year for the Sabres. Again, I can only feel the pain of Sabres fans. But we'll move on along to our second game here. The New Jersey Devils minus 150. Road favorites. Pittsburgh Penguins plus 125. Home dogs 5.5 here in this one. No confirmed goalies. Jacob Markstrom unconfirmed. Tristan Jarry unconfirmed here in this one. The Devils holding on to their playoff spot. Currently in third with 78 points. They've got an 8-point lead over Columbus and the Rangers. One of those teams would have to pass New Jersey in order to, obviously, for them to miss the playoffs. So New Jersey playing pretty well, even with their injuries, and getting the points they need to get. And this is one of those games where they need to win this game, facing the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jesper Bratt, boy, has he had a good, actually good isn't even the right word, phenomenal last 2 games. He's scored in back-to-back games, and back-to-back games he's got 2 assists. So back-to-back 3-point games for Jesper Bratt. When you look at what he's done against Pittsburgh, he has a point in 9 of 10 and assist in 5 of 6 against Pittsburgh. Bratt, super hot right now, and has success against the Penguins. Unfortunately, his assist prop is minus 135. So, of course, that's a no play for me. If you are betting this game, or if you want to bet this game, honestly, Jesper Bratt over 0.5 point and Sidney Crosby over 0.5 point, I think is a good same game parlay for this game. If you wanted to have action in this game, Crosby, of course, a point in 7 of 8 and a point in 4 of 5 against New Jersey. Ricard Raquel also playing well with Sidney Crosby. So some options here. Ultimately, no single plays for me here in this game. I don't like minus 135 for Bratt assist, but I, of course, understand why it's priced like that. If you look at the screen here, and he's having a phenomenal season when it comes to assists. I believe he's trying to break some kind of record as well. So Bratt over 1.5 points could be a good look here. Of course, Tristan Jarry has been playing pretty well recently. So my fear with taking the over 1.5 points, the reason why I didn't is I could see this being maybe a lower scoring game. Maybe Bratt only gets 1 assist. Bratt over 1.5 points is plus 205. So there is a ton of value. And if you parlay Bratt and Crosby both to get a point, as I said earlier, that's plus 110. For Jesper Bratt to get a point and Sidney Crosby to get a point. So that is also a good look in my thoughts, but no play. No official play here in this game. Had to ladder the shots prop, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. I don't blame you. Thanos Thompson, the destroyer of worlds. He's been great. He has been great. Hope he keeps it up. Anytime goal, plus 225 and assist, minus 143. Oof. Just put 2 units on Bratt assist. I don't blame you. I don't like the price at all, but yeah, I don't blame you. He's share plus 160. All right. Played under 5.5 in this game here, a half unit. Jersey 35 and 18 to the under is a favorite, and Jersey puck line plus 175. 27 of New Jersey's 36 wins by 2 or more goals. I could see that, Jonathan. I could see that. Obviously, the Devils have a lot more to play for here in this one. On to our next game, and it doesn't surprise me at all that this game is a 6.5. Of course, with all the players we see here on the screen, it really makes sense that this game is a 6.5. The Washington Capitals minus 240 The San Jose Sharks plus 195. And as I said, a total of 6.5 here in this game. Of course, the Washington Capitals coming off a shutout loss to the LA Kings. They're not going to be in a great mood. And now they're heading here to face the worst team in the NHL. So we've got one of the best teams in the NHL coming to face one of the worst teams in the NHL. And the best team is off a shutout loss. I think this could be a very bad game for the San Jose Sharks if the Capitals do come to play as I expect them to. My issue, though, no confirmed goalies. Logan Thompson unconfirmed. Georgiev unconfirmed. My issue here is I don't really know where to go when it comes to Caps props in this one. That second line had been really hot. Of course, Pierre-Luc Dubois against his former team. None of them get a point. The top line got shut down. So if you're looking at Washington props, in my opinion, you got to look at one of these top two lines. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of value with these players. However, there is value on the other side with San Jose here. To start off, give me Will Smith over half a point, which I got for minus 106 at FanDuel. Will Smith has a point in 8 of his last 9 games. He has been fantastic for the San Jose Sharks. He's on a line with Alex Wenberg and Colin Graff. Give me Colin Graff over half a point. A 0.3 unit play on that one. Plus 170 for Colin Graff to get a point. He's got 1 in 4 of his last 5 games. He's on a line with Wenberg and Smith, both playing very, very well right now. So give me Will Smith over half a point, Colin Graff over half a point. And then nothing for the Capitals right now. I may potentially look at adding something later on to try to look at the Capitals here. Let's take a look at what their team total is at. 3.5 minus 140. Oh my God. Yeah, it's not exactly the easiest to back the Capitals here, but the Capitals should have a good game here after their last game. But no Capitals plays for me. Stick with 2 props with the future of the San Jose Sharks. Meyer, plus 175, 4 goals in 5 games against Jari. Okay, I like it. Colin Graff, plus 400. Yeah, there's great value with him. Protus, plus 250. I like it. Value there as well. McMichael assists, plus 175. All right. I would expect Thompson today. Caps have been rotating goalies since coming out of the Four Nations. Yeah, and they did that earlier on in the season too. They were rotating goalies every game until Lindgren really struggled, and obviously Thompson was like unbeatable. So then they stopped rotating, but yeah, rotating again. Ovi, anytime goal, plus 100. Hey, at least it's plus money. Sharks team total over 2.5, minus 108. Caps have given up at least 3 or more in 13 of the last 16. Given up 3 or more in last 3 off a loss. Wow. Okay. Thompson has given up 3 or more in 5 of his last 6. Sounds good to me. Because if the Sharks score 3, I feel like I'm looking pretty good with Will Smith and Colin Graff. Chikrin, plus 400. Anytime goal and assist, plus 175. Good luck, Robert. Good luck. But on to our next game. And I'll be pretty quickly with this one. So what a change. In the last game, we've got a whole bunch of hot players. Here in this game, not so much. Tampa, minus 180. The Boston Bruins, plus 150 home dogs. Total 5.5 here in this game. And I don't want any part of this game. The Tampa Bay Lightning are a pass or fade team for me at this moment in time. With obviously Kucherov, with him being sick, with that top line going cold. Right now for the Lightning, Brandon Hagel has been the most consistent guy. He's got an assist in 3 of 4. Not enough, obviously, for me to pull the trigger on him. For the Bruins, Pasternak keeps on getting a point. Of course, his point prop is probably like minus 600 or minus 500. So now, of course, maybe facing Tampa Bay, not that bad. Not that bad, but not something you can bet singly. Casey Middlestat has been playing pretty well recently, the 0.45. So you could potentially look at Middlestat here. But this game, not one of my favorite games at all. Vasilevsky unconfirmed, Swayman unconfirmed, pass. And we'll move on to the next one, which I do like a lot. We've got a great game to talk about in the next one. Hagel, 7 goals, 4 assists in 15 games against the Bruins. All right. But we'll move on along to our next game, the Battle of Ontario. We've got the Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs here in this game. Ottawa, plus 115. Road Dogs. Toronto Maple Leafs, minus 135. Home favorites. And a total of 6 here in this game. And boy, we've seen the line move here in this game, with the Senators being around plus 110 right now, but they were plus 140 last night when I locked them in. Give me the Ottawa Senators. So I've definitely beat some live movement. I still like them at plus 115. So if you're getting them at plus 115, I still like the Senators at this price. We've got a huge mismatch here. So the Senators team, they've won 5 consecutive games, 6-0-1 in their last 7. They are playing very well, and they are a determined team to make the playoffs. It's been a while since the Senators have made the playoffs. And they're winning games with their offense. They've scored at least 4 goals in 6 of their last 7. They're scoring goals. They're racking up the points. Then you look at Toronto here on the other side. They've lost 4 of their last 5, and they've lost 4 of their last 5 at home. Things not exactly going well for Toronto right now. And then you look at what's happened in the past between these teams. Well, Ottawa, they won both meetings this year, 3-0 and 2-1, and they've won 5 of the last 6 meetings between these teams. Obviously, these teams do not like each other, and the Senators really come to play when they face their inter-province rival in the Leafs. So you've got the Leafs that are not playing well right now. You've got the Senators that are red hot. This is just not a good matchup for the Leafs facing the Senators, especially when they're struggling right now. So give me the Sens money line, plus 140. No, I'm not done yet. Give me that top line. Tim Stützle, Brady Tkachuk, and Claude Giroux, all over half a point in the same game parlay for plus 320. And I did put a half unit on that. So I considered the 0.3 unit, but I went the half unit. Why? Well, just look. Stützle, a point in 16 of his last 17 games, 5 of his last 6 against Toronto. Tkachuk, he's got a point in 8 games in a row, goals in 6 of 8. Claude Giroux, yeah, he's only got a point in 3 games in a row, but look what he's done against Toronto. 11 of his last 12 games, he's got a point against the Leafs. He's a Leafs killer. So those 3 on that top line, plus 320 for all 3 to get a point. Dylan Cousins has a point in all 4 games since being traded from Buffalo to Ottawa. He's racked up a 4-game point streak. Give me Dylan Cousins over half a point, a plus 128 here in this one. And then the Leafs, well, nothing. Now, of course, I do think the Leafs will score here. You can look at some same game parlays, that top line or the second line. Really, that second line, Tavares and Nylander have been doing really well recently. So I would potentially look at them. But it's the Senators, and it's the Senators props for me here in this game. I think the wrong team is favored, and I get, obviously, Leafs are at home, but in this situation right now, the Senators are the team in much better form. They obviously have the history advantage against the Leafs. So give me the Sens here in this one. Kucherov is plus 180 to score. Never seen him that high. Well, he's sick. So I don't know if he's even playing, but if he is not 100%. So I would stay away. But taking a shot with Gage Concal's goals in back-to-back, plus 700. And then Atkinson, plus 800. All right, good luck. Shane Pinto, plus 325. Nyes, plus 225. And Willie Nylander, plus 140. Anytime goal. Good luck, Mr. Carlson. But we will move on along to our next game here. The New York Rangers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Rangers, minus 135. Road favorites. The Blue Jackets, I almost said Blue Jays. Plus 150. Baseball's coming. Plus 115, home dogs. A total of 6 here. And this one, as I said earlier in the show here, when Timothy was saying how he's going to the Blue Jackets game tonight, this is a very important game for both teams here. Excuse me. Obviously, they're both tied for that final playoff spot. So this game is an incredibly important game. Obviously, Montreal, Detroit, and Boston are hoping that this game is solved in regulation. They do not want to draw at all in this game. Elvis Merzlikins is unavailable for personal reasons. So he will not be available in this game. Danil Tarasov already confirmed. Nobody yet confirmed for the Rangers. I would assume it would be Igor starting here. Tarasov has faced... Oh, actually, I didn't even know that. Tarasov has faced the Rangers twice. He's 1-0-1, and he stopped 58 of 61 shots and had a shutout in the one game. So Tarasov has actually played the Rangers very well this season. Ultimately here, no play for me. We might be talking about this game at the end of the show, so stay tuned to that. So technically, I kind of do have a play, but no single play here for me in this one. Panarin hasn't scored in back-to-back games. If you want a same-game parlay, Trocheck and Panarin, you could do that. Fantilli's had some success against the Rangers. Of course, with Columbus getting shut out, so kind of the same deal with Washington. I would expect a pissed-off Columbus team. Of course, they're facing a tough opponent in the Rangers, and this is, as I said, an incredibly important game. Kent Johnson was very consistent for us. Obviously, didn't get a point with the Jackets getting shut out, so we'll see if he can get back on track here in this game. Good morning to all. Good morning, Tommy. Fantilli, plus 200. And Kent Johnson, plus 275. All right. Tarasov is playing better more recently. Yeah, he's not an automatic fade like others. More important for Columbus, Rangers own the tiebreakers. Regulation wins 29-23. Okay. But yeah, it's still an important game for both teams. Columbus money line at plus 115. I don't know. I kind of lean towards the Rangers, but not at minus 135, though. Tarasov, first career shutout, was against the Rangers, and he lost 1-0 in a shootout. That is awful. That is awful. But we'll move on along to our next game here, the Carolina Hurricanes and the Philadelphia Flyers. The Canes, minus 170, road favorites. Flyers, plus 145, home dogs. A total of 5.5 here in this one. And I really don't have a lot to say about this game. The Hurricanes should win. They're on a second night of a back-to-back. I don't really want to back them here. Jarvis, I bet his anytime goal prop yesterday. Of course, he did not score. I'm not betting it today, which means Seth Jarvis is likely going to score tonight. But that's okay. That's okay. Ultimately, this game here, nothing. Nothing here in this one. I would expect the Canes to win, but I'm not betting it, of course. But we'll move on along to our next game here. Florida Panthers and the Montreal Canadiens. Florida minus 205. Road favorites, the Habs, plus 170. Home dogs, total of 5.5 here in this one. Samuel Montembeault is confirmed here. Bobrovsky is not yet confirmed. So we'll see if he is the one who starts here in this game. The way I look at this game, obviously we cashed in Mackie Samoskevich over half a point in his last game. So, of course, I went to go and bet it today. But because Florida is such a big favorite, unfortunately, Samoskevich point was, I believe, minus 124. And I was really not expecting that. I kind of thought that he would still be kind of plus money there, but obviously the books have caught on to Mr. Samoskevich. So what I did, give me Mackie Samoskevich over half a point, parlayed with Sam Bennett over half a point. Obviously, they're on the same line together, the same power play. Bennett has a point 4 in a row, as well as 7 of his last 9 against Montreal. So Samoskevich and Bennett both to get a point together. Parlayed is plus 150 here in this game. So that's how I'm backing that line, parlaying them together. Barkov has great history against the Florida Panthers. And then when you look at Montreal, Suzuki has success against the Panthers, as does Cole Caulfield, who hasn't scored in back-to-back games, but he has scored in 3 of his last 4 against Florida. I will not be surprised to see Mr. Caulfield find the back of the net. I'm not betting any Montreal props. I'm not betting the side. My only play in this game is that same game parlay with Samoskevich and Bennett. But I won't be surprised to see Caulfield and Suzuki get on the score sheet as well here in this one. But we will continue on along to our next game, which is the Nashville Predators and the LA Kings. Here in this game, of course, Nashville off a 2-1 loss last night to the Anaheim Ducks. Now they're facing the Los Angeles Kings here. Justice Annunen should be starting here for the Predators. Darcy Kemper unconfirmed as well, but I would kind of expect him to start here in this one. When it comes to the Predators props, no thank you. You guys know how I feel about the Preds this season. Of course, we did cash on them. We were betting when Marchessault, Stamkos, and Forsberg when they were all hot for that kind of 2-week period. But otherwise, the Predators have been pretty much a fade team here. Looking at the LA Kings, you guys know what we're doing here. I don't have to tell you, do I? Are you guys going to make me say it? Yes, I'll say it. Quinton Byfield, anytime goal here in this game. 5 consecutive games with the goal. Cash shot him at plus 320 and plus 340, I think. His last 2 games, 0.3 unit plays. I am raising it to the point, to the half unit play, plus 290 for Quinton Byfield to score. Obviously, 5 consecutive games with a goal. He is really shooting the puck well. And obviously, he's facing this Predators team on the second night of a back-to-back. It's a good spot for Byfield. So give me Byfield anytime goal. I'm not on Fogle or Trevor Moore here, but both of those guys, points in 4 or 5, I believe they're both around plus 125 to get a point. So there's a ton of value with Fogle and Moore, both on the third line, but I have not pulled the trigger as of yet on either guy, but I would be looking at those two if I was looking at other LA props here in this game. Dun, 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 dun. I was on Anaheim last night. Let's keep it rolling, Nashville. You can do it. There you go. There you go. But we will move on along to our next one. We've got the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild here. The Blues minus 110. The Wild minus 110. And a total of 5.5 here in this game. Doesn't surprise me here with the total. And right off the bat, to start off, give me Zach Bolduc anytime goal. I regret not taking him in the last game. I was kind of looking at him, but didn't end up pulling the trigger. I will here today. Bolduc, yes, I will against the Wild too. Zach Bolduc, anytime goal, 0.3 unit play, smaller play, plus 440 for Bolduc to score. He's scored in 4 of his last 6 games. He's got his offense going right now. So we'll take him here to score. If you're looking at other Blues players, I would look at Jake Neighbors. Point in 7 of his last 9 against Minnesota. He's been doing well. Holloway on the other side, 7 of his last 8 games against Minnesota, he did not get a point. Only a point in 1 of his last 8 against Minnesota. So not good numbers there for Holloway, but there is good numbers for Jake Neighbors. What do I want? Give me Jordan Binnington in this game. When I heard Ryan Hartman was being suspended, my biggest worry would be that he would miss. So he would somehow miss this game against the Blues. Of course, that isn't the case. Ryan Hartman hates Jordan Binnington. If you guys have not watched previous shows when these teams have faced each other, and I've talked about it, Hartman and Binnington do not get along whatsoever. Hartman always has his best games when he faces the St. Louis Blues. He's got a point in 3 of his last 5 games, and of course, 4 in a row against the Blues. The Wild have already won all 3 meetings against the Blues this season. Give me Ryan Hartman over half a point, a plus 158. I think there's a ton of value there with his history against Binnington. Of course, Binnington hasn't been confirmed yet, but obviously this is an important game for the Blues here against the Wild. Now, the Blues do play on Sunday, but it's at home against Anaheim. So I would expect Binnington here to start tonight against the Wild, and then the backup there tomorrow against the Ducks here. Marcus Johansson, Matt Boldy, Jared Spurgeon, all 3 playing somewhat well recently, and all 3 also have success against the Blues here in this game. Kings team total over 3.5. All right. Played Caps Kings moneyline parlay plus 100. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. Robert is the Kings team total is a plus money. LA is low scoring, and Nashville mostly plays defense. That Hartman versus Binnington quarrel is old news. No, not really. Not really. Still, obviously, it's not. Hasn't happened obviously recently, but it's still a factor as we've seen. Hartman's 7 goals versus Binnington is more than any other Wild player on the roster. Exactly. Ryan Hartman does not like Binnington. That's just how it is. They don't like each other. And if Hartman is going to score, if he's going to have a good game offensively, which he has been recently, he's going to do it against Binnington. So that's why I am once again taking his point prop here against the Blues. But on to our final game of the night. And then, of course, we will have a player picks parlay on OwnersBox, which I'll get to here in a second. Chicago, plus 200. Road Dogs. The Vancouver Canucks, minus 245. Home favorites, total 5.5 here in this game. And looking at this one, the Blackhawks have a pretty hot line right now. Teuvo Teravainen, and Ryan Donato, who we continue to talk about when we talk about the Blackhawks. Ilya Mikheyev has scored a goal in 3 of his last 4. He's obviously on that line with Teravainen and Donato and has found his offense recently. So give me Ilya Mikheyev. Anytime goal, 0.3 unit play, plus 550 for him to score a goal tonight. Ton of value with a goal in 3 of 4. He's on that line for the Hawks. The Canucks obviously need to win this game to keep their playoffs or to keep their playoff chances high or somewhat decent. Obviously, losing this game would be losing a home game against Chicago when you're trying to get into the playoffs would be a drastic loss for this Canucks team. Quinn Hughes, an assist in his last game. Hronik has been good. And Elias Pettersson, 3 consecutive games with a goal and 3 consecutive games with a power play point. He's had a rough season overall, but Elias Pettersson is starting to get it going recently for the Vancouver Canucks. Hinostroza, anytime point. Good luck. He is on that line with Hartman and Foligno. So a good luck. If you can find that prop, it is a good luck. OwnersBox Fantasy Sports. Player picks, salary cap, lightning lineups. They have 3 different games you can play on OwnersBox Fantasy. I will have a team in the salary cap for today's tournament. It is $10 to join. You pick 4 forwards, 3 defensemen, a goalie, and then a super flex position. So if you want to go against me, sign up for OwnersBox. Use promo code TEPICS. Link is also in the description of the video. And I do have a player picks parlay of the day. Ken Johnson, I don't like the price for his point prop, so we'll take him to get a point here in this parlay. And then, yes, I talked about Bennington against Hartman, and I'm taking Hartman here in my 2-player player picks parlay of the day on OwnersBox. Promo code TEPICS. Link is in the description below if you would like to join. Premium plays. I have 2 full unit plays and I believe 2 player props that I did not give out on today's show. Those are available on CapperTech. Link is in the description below. And that's it. No shows on Sundays, as usual. So if you want my plays, you can go and get them on CapperTech. $10. $10 gets you a 1-day all access pass. You can get all my plays for tomorrow. Best of luck to everyone on today's slate. A bunch of good games to go over. Hopefully it is a bounce back night. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for the show. No problem. Thanks for coming on in, as you always do, Robert. Appreciate it. Appreciate to everyone that watches the show on a daily basis. Best of luck tonight, guys. And we will see you guys on Monday for another episode. Picks on Net, NHL, Picks and Predictions.